This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Tune in to Sunny 1320 and 1450 Wednesdays at 11:30 to Journeys with Joni. You'll learn more about the financial decisions we make every day and how we can gain financial clarity in our lives. So join Joni Rametta Wednesdays at 11:30 here on Sunny.
Welcome to Journeys with Joni. My name is Joni Rametta, and I am here today with my co-host, Mark Clark. Join us as we travel on the financial road to clarity. Mark, last week we had an awesome program.
Wasn't Brenda cool?
She was really good. Now, if you didn't tune in last week, we had Brenda in. She wrote a book that helps us keep our kids safe. It's about investing in our children. We do investing with clarity at our shop there. But and we are having actually a workshop tomorrow. Investing with Clarity at 5:30, February 20th, at our offices at 6230 University Parkway. You can RSVP by calling us at 941-361-1484. So last week we talked with Brenda about the Let's Be Safe in the book. What did you think, Mark?
I thought it was really cool. You know, we talk a lot about investing. We're going to talk today about investing with clarity and some of the stuff that we do, and we have a lot of fun doing it, and the message and how we present and work with our clients, they love it. But I can't think of a better investment than our kids. And our grandkids, Mark. You've got a couple of those. I got a couple grandkids. They're lovely. Boys, my wife's rolling her eyes if she's listening at this point. We're waiting on the first granddaughter to show up. But, you know, investing in the little people in our lives, I think it's so cool. And one of the things that really got me excited, Joni, was when Brenda started talking about the teenagers that were taking the resources that Brenda has and impacting other kids, children, and getting community service hours. Wasn't that awesome? That was awesome. And the fact that they wanted to do it, it was their idea. They wanted to go out and read the books to the kids. They wanted to go do something different than picking up garbage, as she said, for community service hours. Right. And that's just awesome. There's no better investment return than what you get when you invest in other people. Absolutely. And that's exactly what we do, because we like to invest. Our motto is investing with clarity, but it's about our relationship with all of our clients. It's the relationship with our listeners. It's the relationship with everybody around us. That's the most important thing that we both think helps us with our businesses. You know, when you have clarity in your life, it allows you to step back, take a look, almost from the outside looking in. And, you know, when we talk about the financial things that we do in our office, and it is, you know, finances touches so many people. We've had some meetings in the past few weeks where we've talked about, marriage, family, children, especially Brenda last week. But finances is always a component. And it's that thread that runs through everything. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? It is crazy. So we want to bring a clarity message, not only to the investing, but to your financial life and into your life in general. And that's really what we're doing. Right. In Investing with Clarity, we have the 4 pillars. We have philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency. And over the last couple of weeks, we've really touched a lot on the philosophy and strategy. Yeah, we have. To recap, I love the flexibility and transparency components of our message. But just to kind of recap, the philosophy of what we do, own good companies. Know what you own and why you own it is the cornerstone of the philosophy component of what we do. The strategy is how we do it. The past several weeks, the markets have been crazy, and we're not going to talk about the markets from where they are today or where they're going tomorrow, because do we know where they're going? No, we don't know where they're going, and it really doesn't matter. Yeah, we don't have a crystal ball in our office. No. Yeah, maybe I could make one up, but fact is we don't know. So the one guarantee we can make is that the market will go up and the market will go down. Absolutely. And we've seen that over our careers. We have. So with the strategy that we have, we do strategic cost averaging. Exactly.
So in these volatile times, we're actually happy for some of these volatile times, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. Can you see people looking at their radio going, what do you mean you want it to be going? You want my company to be going down? Why would we want the company to go down in price, Joni?
Well, it's not necessarily they want it to go down in price, but when it does go down in price, it's on sale. Who doesn't like a sale?
That's a loaded question in my house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a lot of girls. So, when the market has a correction, a little bit of a pullback, you look at the companies that you own. Do you want to own more of them? It's a great opportunity to buy some more on sale.
That's a good point. The companies we own in our portfolios, the markets have a pullback. That does not mean the underlying value of the companies that we own in the portfolios have gone down. That just means the market fear or the market greed if it's going up, the market fear or the market jitters, something emotionally has caused the price of the stock to go down. And our strategy is to strategically cost average into the companies that we want you to own over time. And oftentimes our clients, and we're going to talk about this later on in the show here, but our clients will see what we do in the portfolio, and they'll oftentimes see that we're buying a few more shares of this, a few more shares of that. And the way we've been able to put the program together really has an impact in the strategic cost averaging that we can buy more on sale. I referenced this before. Christmas time, I went into a certain big box store that's very famous at Christmas time, and I bought a shirt. Well, I was in too much of a hurry, and I was getting it on sale anyway. I think it was $15. I was really excited. I got a nice shirt for $15. I was too busy to try it on. I go home. Didn't fit. I had to go back and get the other size. I'm not going to say which size I went up or down, but I had to get the other size. And overnight, they marked it down to $9.99. So here
What a great deal.
What a strategic cost averaging opportunity on a shirt. So here I go back in, exchange the size and get $5 back. What a deal.
That's an absolute deal.
So the same thing goes on in the portfolios on the strategy message. So it's really neat when you combine the philosophy and the strategy together. We've talked a lot about how we do those things, and now we're going to talk today about the flexibility and the transparency we have in our portfolios. And one of the things in our community, especially Joni, we've had everybody's concerned when we talk about transparency, but we custody our assets at a very large firm. And a couple weeks ago we were at an event that they had in Orlando. The name of the company is
TD Ameritrade.
I really like their the message. What was the message?
The message was human finance and how important relationships are. It was absolutely out of this world conference.
It was really neat. And, the opportunity we have to impact people, like we were talking before, it's a privilege and a pleasure. We have a lot of fun doing it. Even like we talked with last week with Brenda and impacting the kids. But we're going to talk today in today's show about the about the transparency and the flexibility. But we've got a workshop coming up tomorrow, don't we?
We do. We have a workshop tomorrow at 5:30 at our offices, 6230 University Parkway. We're right at the corner, basically, of University Parkway and I-75. You can still RSVP, so give us a call at 941-361-1484. And you can go to our website, www.journeyswithjoni.com.
And this is a great time to bring your questions, give you an opportunity to interact with us.
Absolutely. Yeah. One-on-one, small groups. We like those too. We'll answer any questions that you may have. So hang on. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with Nepsis Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484. Journey with Joni will be hosting a workshop on Thursday, February 20th. A great opportunity to meet Mark and Joni. So join them on February 20th. Please call 941-361-1484 today to reserve your seat. Call 941-361-1484 today. They look forward to meeting you.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. I'm Joni Rametta, and just before the break, we were discussing TD Ameritrade in the conference we'd gone to a couple weeks ago. We've talked about the human finance, about relationships. We've talked about the philosophy and strategy of investing with clarity. Those are the first 2 components. And the second 2 components were flexibility and transparency. So, Mark, let's talk about flexibility first.
Flexibility is the bob and weave, the ability to adjust on the fly. And I read a book, truth be told, I listened to the audiobook several years ago, and the book was entitled, "It's Not the Big That Eat the Small, It's the Fast That Eat the Slow." And it was a business book, and it really talked about when you're old and staunch in your ways and you've established a brick and mortar type of mentality of, this is the way we do things, that comes across rigid. And in this world of technology, you have to be flexible. You have to have the ability to really bob and weave and adjust with the times. And, we've talked about our philosophy, we've talked about our strategy, but when it comes into flexibility in a client's portfolio, and I'm going to kind of weave this experience I had a few weeks ago with a person that came into our office, and their conversation was, I have no idea what the financial advisor I worked with did or was doing in my portfolio. And the end of the story is they fired him, got a check. So as we talk about the flexibility, the ability to communicate that, and for the client just to kind of stick our toe into transparency, the ability to communicate that with the client on a daily basis inside their portfolio is key. And I think we see that a lot. And we talked about TD Ameritrade. What a great company.
They're awesome. And they're on the forefront of this technology stuff. I mean, I have teenagers at home. So, iPhones and technology stuff is something that I have to keep up with in order to keep up with my kids. But go to that conference and you find all the technology that's out there that's available to interface different things together so that you can provide the service to the clients. You can provide the background stuff to the clients. It helps you be more, things flow better. The technology and how they all work on it. They're like light years ahead of a lot of places.
They really are. And one of the components is, and we're not going to talk about this in great detail today, but the fees, the way that we're able to package the fees of how we manage money. There are no trading costs in our portfolios.
None.
The trading costs, the costs for trades are built into the fee that we charge as an RIA. We are a registered investment advisor. And the TD Ameritrade allows us to do this, and it's phenomenal. Why is this important? Well, we're talking about the flexibility. So one of the things people ask me all the time, and I know they ask you too, Joni, is, well, when the portfolio manager, and his name's Mark Pearson, he's out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's our home office. He's the president and chief investment officer. And they ask him or me or you, Joni, all the time, how do you sell? Well, there's two sides to the sell. It's the ability to be flexible and act on the information, and then there's the actual ability to pull the trigger, make the transaction, and put that flexibility in our clients' portfolios. And, we have a few sell disciplines, and they're very relevant to this conversation today. If the long-term fundamentals of a company that we own in the portfolio have changed, we have the ability to be out in what people have called a New York second, if we need to.
That's pretty quick.
It is quick. But the flip side of that is we've done our research. In fact, there have been some companies over a period of time that we have sold, not because the fundamentals have changed. I can think of one. I'm not going to mention it on the air, but the company is doing well. It's a good investment. But the moral reasons that we chose to exit out of this company, we were able to do so very quickly. We just didn't, the company and the way they were profiting just didn't align with Nepsis as a whole. And I was proud of the decision that was made, and we were able to exit very quickly and get out of the portfolio, or get that holding out of the portfolio. So that may not be a business fundamental, but a moral fundamental had an impact on an investment. We were able to get out of it. And I thought that was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. And actually, when you talk to the people who own those investments, and they ask the question, why did we sell that? And we can actually tell them why we sold it. That's absolutely wonderful, because they understand what they owned, why they owned it, and now they understand why they sold it.
And especially in this economic, political, whatever environment you want to call this country, standing up for what you believe in is very, very important in my book.
And mine too. I
know that. Another flexibility that we have, a potentially better opportunity has arisen. We talked about this we don't have a crystal ball, but nobody knows, the future. But we have the ability to be flexible. If we find something better to own in our portfolios, we have the ability to do it. We may sell a portion to lock in gains. If we've got a gain in a portfolio of one of the positions, we have the ability to sell on a quick basis, or if we just want to rebalance. One of the last sell discipline that we have in the flexibility side, and I really, really like this one.
I think this is my favorite.
What is it? You tell them what it is.
Is it tax selling?
It is tax management, tax selling. We've been in several conversations with CPAs over the last months, if you will, and a tax-efficient portfolio. We had one guy we talked to, and he said, this was a CPA. So my client calls me every November, December, and he's very upset because he's paying taxes on things that other people have sold because he's in a mutual fund-based portfolio, and we don't have that problem in our portfolios because we own companies, and we have the ability to be flexible. And tax loss harvesting is something that's really powerful in a portfolio where we can use those rules. It's kind of like, you can play the game with all the rules or you can play the game with half of the rules. Tax loss harvesting allows us to do some tax planning and some very strategic tax planning with the portfolios.
Oh, and not only do the CPAs and the accountants like it, but the clients like it too. Nobody likes to write that check to Uncle Sam.
No, nobody likes it. And we have stories and situations where we're able to share that with you. But so that kind of gives you an overview of the flexibility. We're going to talk about transparency, and then I'm going to kind of bring in a story we've had with the experience of one of our clients. But we got a workshop coming up, don't we?
We got a workshop coming up tomorrow, actually, at 5:30 at our offices, Nepsis Advisor Services, 6230 University Parkway, corner of I-75 and University Parkway, next to the Lakewood Ranch Welcome Center and in the Home Bank building. You can give us a call at 941-361-1484, or you can go to www.journeyswithjoni.com to register.
We'll just make sure that no trucks drop anything on the overpass right before the workshop this time.
Absolutely. That's been going on for too long. All right. Well, give us a call, 941-361-1484 for our Investing with Clarity workshop tomorrow. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with Nepsis Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484. Journey with Joni will be hosting a workshop on Thursday, February 20th. A great opportunity to meet Mark and Joni. So join them on February 20th. Please call 941-361-1484 today to reserve your seat. Call 941-361-1484 today. They look forward to meeting you.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. I'm Joni Rametta, and just before the break, Mark and I were talking about, we were talking about our workshop tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, 5:30. Give us a call at 941-361-1484. It's a workshop on investing with clarity, which will actually talk about the four
key components.
Key components, pillars, as I call them: philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency. So give us a call, 941-361-1484. Now, Mark, we were talking about flexibility, but I think we left one little thing out.
I did. I forgot a little thing.
There's a little thing. We've got 5 models.
We do.
Let's talk about those.
When people hear the word model, they all of a sudden they go, okay, you're going to put me into some cookie cutter stuff. Well, it's more to that. This is really why you want to come to our workshop. There's a great opportunity to come sit down and talk to us. You're going to get the whole story from A to Z, and really get an opportunity to look under the hood. Also, we can do a comparison for you. People love the comparison when we do the comparison because it really sheds a light on the transparency component of this. But before I go there, I forgot the flexibility.
Let's go back to flexibility.
We've got 5 models. We've got 5 risk tolerance models. Now, the interesting thing about the models are we own, for the most part, the same companies in all 5 models. We just own more in the more riskier investor models of the companies that we want to own, and we are going to own less of the companies that we want to own still the same companies, and those folks who want to be, very, very conservative in their portfolio. So there's 5. There's growth and income, balanced, income and growth, and income. So we'll have a quiz on that later, Joni. But those are the 5 models. And the way we get into those 5 models with you is we have a questionnaire. The questionnaire, Joni, we take people through.
We take people through the questionnaire. It's basically your risks, how long your time horizon is, what your purpose in the funds are, where the money is coming from, whether it's an IRA money or non-IRA money. We go through the questionnaire. It's probably, 12, 15 questions that really helps us drill down into your expectations. And then that sort of flows right into the model that's most appropriate for you. And that's the model that we would then select.
And it really works nice because, folks, we do this all the time. This is our day job, if you will. And our risk tolerance is not your risk tolerance. I had a family member, we did this not too long ago, and this person, my brother, is younger than me, and I thought his risk tolerance would be equal or as greater than mine, and he's actually not. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's your expectation as a client that needs to be met, not ours. Our job is to stick to your goals, and that's pretty cool.
Well, and you need to sleep at night, and so do I. So, your risk tolerance isn't your neighbor's risk tolerance, and it's not somebody down the street's risk tolerance. So it's, although they may end up being the same, you may get there a completely different way. So let's start talking a little bit now about transparency.
Transparency is the last, philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency. It's the last of the 4, but it's probably the one that either helps or hinders people the most. And we get to talking to a prospective client that we're working with several weeks ago, and the conversation was in reference to retiring some debt and liquidating their portfolio. They weren't a current client of ours, but the concern was I didn't make any money last year in my portfolio, which kind of concerns me from the very beginning. Last year was a pretty good year, but I didn't make any money. I'd just rather, liquidate the portfolio and pay off the debt. And I asked them a question. I said, well, what was going on in your portfolio? And their response was, as many as, I have no idea. I have no idea really what's going on in the portfolio. And transparency is a huge factor, because if you can't see through the window, if you can't see what's going on, you begin to get nervous, you begin to get scared, you begin to get concerned, and you begin to make decisions that may or may not be correct for you because you don't have any transparency. You haven't seen this happen at all before, have you, Joni?
Oh, all the time, actually. I mean, the unknown's always scary. So if you don't understand it and you can't see it and nobody explains it to you, there's a concern.
So transparency is provided at TD Ameritrade because our clients, all of our assets are custodied at TD Ameritrade. We don't self-custody, so this keeps you away from the Madoff or the mini Madoff situations. We don't custody any of the assets. It's in a portfolio, and the clients see all the activity in their portfolio, so they know what they own and why they own it. What has been our experience with clients liking their access to TD Ameritrade? You have firsthand experience.
Oh, absolutely. Clients love it. You can do the snail mail kind of thing where you get the confirmations and the statements in the mail so that you see everything that's done in your portfolio. Then for those clients who like to go online, you can go online, and at any point in the day, you can see the activity actually that's happening live in your account. So if something was bought today, you'll see it today. If something was sold today, you're going to see it today. So you can go in between, your account values and the activity in it, and you can look at the holdings that you have, and you can look at the cost basis, so you can see, where you've bought it, why we're buying more of it, that kind of thing. So you can sort of really get a picture of what's actually going on in your portfolio.
Well, we have a clear and sensible investment message, and the philosophy, strategy, and the flexibility, and we've talked about that not only today but in other shows. But when you have transparency, you can actually see that game plan being played out in the portfolios. And, Joni just referenced probably one of the most powerful things. When we make an addition to one of the companies that you want to own, we buy more of the company you want to own, you actually see that happening in the portfolio virtually on a real-time basis.
Basically, yeah.
So reporting's there, all that good stuff is there. But ongoing activity and portfolio management is constant in the portfolios. We're constant. People ask us all the time. In fact, at the conference a few weeks ago, we were involved in a conversation where somebody asked us, well, How often do you all trade in your portfolios? And it's a daily process. We buy things that are on sale when they're on sale, and we own 25 to 35 companies in the portfolios, as we've talked about before. But it's an ongoing opportunity to purchase things in your portfolio. And that's why the transparency, that's why we've chose to work with TD Ameritrade. There's a lot to get in on a radio show, and I know they're banging on the glass over there telling us we're out of time, but an opportunity that you have to really go from A to Z with us is a workshop we're having tomorrow. Tomorrow,
Investing with Clarity workshop at our offices at 6230 University Parkway. Give us a call at 941-361-1484 or go to journeyswithjoni.com to register. We'd love to meet with you. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. I hope that you learned a little bit more, and if you are ready to come and get a little bit more conversation with us, we would love to talk with you. Give us a call at 941-361-1484. Journeys with Joni will be back next week. Until then, thanks for listening.
This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Tune in to Sunny 1320 and 1450 Wednesdays at 11:30 to Journeys with Joni. You'll learn more about the financial decisions we make every day and how we can gain financial clarity in our lives. So join Joni Rametta Wednesdays at 11:30 here on Sunny.